Hello there, GCSEers. And today what we're going to do is we're going to try and explain what the problem with those beliefs are. Now, if you remember, there were 5 different reasons why people believe that you can live forever. Legacy, living on in your work and what you do. Elvis isn't dead because I heard him on the radio. In the memory of others, people like the unknown soldier and other soldiers who've died, and they remember them. We wear a poppy, as you can see here. Resurrection, the belief that a physical body rises from the dead and we go to a better world, or not a worse world, depending on how well we've lived our lives. And finally, there's reincarnation, which is the belief that you live on your soul goes on into another body, which you can eventually escape. Or there's rebirth, which means your energy goes back off into the universe. You remember those from the last video. Well, today we're going to look at the problems with them. The first one we're going to come to is legacy. And Elvis isn't dead because I heard him on the radio. Well, the key thing is, in a million years, will we still be listening to Elvis on the radio? I mean, the key thing is that the world may not be here anymore, and everything that we understand to be existing as human beings in a million years, evolution may have completely eradicated it. So will Elvis live forever? Can you truly say that a legacy, things that people leave behind, will last forever? In fact, will humans even exist in a million years' time? Or even a billion years' time? Can we truly say that a legacy is a way to be immortal? Probably not. Now, what about the memory of others? I remember this picture here again. I showed you my grandfather, and now I remember him, and I can tell my children about him, but will they remember him? And the key thing is, eventually people die out, and even from 1,000 years ago, I can't remember people from my family. My mum and dad do genealogy. They'd look back in the family tree. But the key thing is that a way of living forever? Is that actually a way of being immortal? Again, I'll leave it up to you to decide, but, it's a difficult one to answer. Now, resurrection, obviously, this one is the one that most people hold true. Most people have a religious belief, who hold religious beliefs, and that's the belief that the physical body rises from the dead. But the key thing is with that one is that, heaven and hell, people haven't discovered it. We're going to look in a couple of weeks' time about space and going up into space. People used to believe that that's where heaven was, and you can see church spires pointing upwards, and the reason is that people believed they pointed to the heavens. But one of the first ever astronauts in space, I'm not going to try and pronounce his name, here's a picture for you. He actually went up when he first went up into space, and his first words were, "I see no sign of God here." And so therefore no sign of God, no sign of God's kingdom, no heaven, no immortality. Now people would argue, well, it's not in this realm, it's not in this thing. But the key thing is that we know our bodies decay. People have dug up bodies and looked at them hundreds of years later, and they decay. They will eventually decay to nothing. Now, many people, Christians and other religions, believe that our bodies will rise with a new improved body, and our souls resurrect to an afterlife where they live in a perfect realm, in a perfect society. The key thing is that extensive medical research hasn't found it. We haven't found what this is. There's no actual evidence. There's just religious faith. Where is it? Okay, nobody knows. And again, I'll leave you with this picture. I see no sign of God up here. If there is such a thing as a resurrection into a heaven or a hell, where are they? We know there's no hell below us because, the world is round, and there's no heaven above us because there's only sky. Finally, reincarnation and rebirth. I'm going to treat these two together. We know they're different. Reincarnation is the belief that you have a soul and the soul lives on. But rebirth is the belief that our energy goes off into the universe. Now, the key thing is that people don't survive death. If they are living a new life with different memories, they are surely different people. So all of us, when we are born, we have unique memories that are to do with the life that we're leading now. Now, some people claim that an evidence for an afterlife is that they have a memory of a former life, but the vast majority of people do not. They do not believe or do not remember a former life. So if we look at the evidence seems to suggest that we do not remember a former life. Most people don't, so therefore they think that they don't exist. And is rebirth, the Buddhist belief about a candle, an example of how do people live forever if there is no soul? How can somebody live forever if there is no soul? So rebirth is just another idea. Our energy goes off into the universe. Yeah, that's fine. But if there is no soul, do we, i.e. me and you, are we able to live forever? Well, I'm going to give you those counter arguments there, ladies and gentlemen, and I want you just to make sure that you know them. Wouldn't people remember their past lives for reincarnation? Resurrection, where is heaven and where is hell if they do exist? In the memory of others, in the thousands of years, people aren't going to remember each other. And finally, legacy, will Elvis live forever? In a million years, will people still remember who Elvis is, and will he ever indeed live forever? So, ladies and gentlemen, arguments against living forever. And the key thing again, as usual, is what do you think?